Shut up and sit down.
Welcome back to Pop Culture Podcast, episode 217. I'm Adrian.
I'm Jay.
And we're here for another week of comic books, TV, movies, other shenanigans.
I got a video game to talk about.
We got video games to talk about, and we got hooch to talk about.
Yes.
Now, I know we've been trying a couple different liquors. We've been going on a little experimental.
Yes.
What I wanted to get, they sold out of.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The New Holland Mexican Spice Porter.
I feel like that's not that far from the mole one that we had from them.
Right. No, we didn't have that from them. We had the mole was from Fat Tire. Their brewing, their special Lips of Flaming.
Isn't Fat Tire a New Holland?
No, that's New Belgium.
New Belgium. That's okay.
New Belgium.
You can see. I mean, it's all the same ancient white people. Okay.
But then
Okay,
I saw
fair enough.
this, and I'm like, well, this is right up Jay's alley.
All right.
Because it's a porter
Okay.
by the Backwoods Brewing Company. Now, why don't you take a sip? I want to see the reaction before we talk about it. Because I want to...
I feel like there should be a banjo playing while I do this.
Oh, it's very forward in there. That flavor's there. It is their Imperial Maple Porter.
Okay, there. I'm like, it's definitely a sweet flavor. I'm down with this. I'm good. You give me maple and coffee, I'm down.
It's by the Experimental Forest series that they have.
Okay.
They use real maple syrup in this Imperial Ale. Aroma of maples followed by balanced notes of vanilla, maple, and chocolate with a subtle roast on the finish.
I'm good with this. This is delicious. I'm curious, though, if they have an Experimental Forest series. What else is in the series? Is there a pine? Is there a...
Right? It's from Carson, Washington.
Noble fir? Oh, I didn't realize... Interesting. Okay.
I don't know where Carson is.
I've passed it. I want to say it's Eastern Washington. I could be wrong.
We can go experiment their experimentals.
That's right.
Yeah.
If I bring my own tree, do I get a discount?
I think you should.
Yeah, right.
No, it's good. I like it.
It's delicious. I think the maple makes it a little bit lighter of lighter on the palate than a normal porter. You've got that sweetness, so it doesn't hit you quite as heavy. There's also like no head on this.
No, very light. Yours has got some. Mine's got almost
bit.
none.
Which I mean, porters don't have. Stouts obviously have more of a head. Porters tend to have kind of a medium head. This has virtually no head.
And I wonder if that's because the maple syrup's so thick.
Maybe.
I'm just grasping at straws here.
Yeah. So.
The other thing about hooch I'm going to talk about real fast.
Okay.
It was I was talking to the Beard about mead.
Okay.
Who apparently he's big into Viking blood.
He's
big into Viking blood.
This is my surprised face. At
Yes.
That. Yeah.
Oh, well, that is shocking.
Yeah.
However, he wanted to explain that mead drunk is like a different type of drunk.
Okay.
Now, we've all been drunk, right? We've all had our different drunks.
Oh, absolutely.
Before.
Yeah.
I wonder what a mead drunk is like. Because whiskey drunk, I'm happy.
Oh yeah.
Beer drunk, I'm just tired.
Yeah.
Tequila drunk, I'm a little rowdy.
Okay.
A little rowdy. I wonder what mead drunk would
I think
be.
we may need to do an experiment for the show, obviously.
Educational purposes,
yeah.
obviously.
Yeah. I mean, you still got that guest room, right? I can just.
Oh yeah.
Good.
It's and you know what? We just watched the sheets on it yesterday.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah, you're
cool,
solid.
So let's Price is Right. Go buy a bunch of mead.
Okay.
And then
Well, we still have that bottle, that Viking blood.
Oh, you didn't finish that?
No.
Oh, I figured you would have finished that.
No.
Okay. Well,
there's not a lot of whiskey left in the cabinet, but the mead's there.
I'm getting to that point. It's a little scary. I was looking at my cabinet the other day. I'm like, I got maybe 4, 5 ounces in 6 bottles. I'm like, what am I gonna do on Sunday?
You're gonna make a flight of whiskey.
Yeah, right.
All right, so let's talk. Let's get into the TV of it all.
Cool.
What is your TV watching?
So we watched the last 2 episodes of Gotham for this season, which Bruce puts on a a costume and starts.
No.
Yeah, he's like in his pajamas and a ski mask, and he stops a robbery. So. I may be about done with that.
Are they wrapping up so we can see Batman and end the show? or are they going to run him?
Well, he's still 12, so that's my problem.
Yeah, it's a huge problem.
Yeah. So I don't know. I saw that. My wife was excited. She's like, "Oh, it's Batman." I'm like, oh, "Why is it Batman?"
Oh, we got a lot of Batman stuff to talk about too.
Yeah,
today.
we do. Okay, so I watched that. Caught up on Nashville, which they've brought in a Cousin Oliver now.
Oh, already?
Yeah.
'Cause
Well,
didn't we
it's not
just-
already? It's season 5 or 6.
Okay, I guess that's true.
But yeah.
Who's our Cousin Oliver?
Some street rat that the younger sister ran across when she was skipping school because she was sad about her dead mom. So now the street rat has gone from living in the abandoned warehouse next to the river to the mansion.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Watched a couple more episodes of MTV's Undressed. Fucking hilarious to watch. Working my way through House of Cards. I got 4 episodes left in this season.
The Trump season.
Yeah.
So tell me what you think.
It's good. I mean, I'm a big fan of House of Cards. I think, I don't remember if it's season 2 or 3, kind of went downhill a little bit, but it's definitely picked back up. So they're going into everything from like hacking into the election servers to change results to some of these backroom deals with Russia and things like that.
Okay.
So it's good. It's definitely not like play for play the same as it was. So they can't get like slander or libel or whatever. But it's enough of it where you're like, yeah, I can see where
It's very blatant.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, watch the special episode of Bob's Burgers.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
So fucking confused by this.
No, I thought we were gonna get a season finale, and then boom, out of nowhere, this episode comes on my.
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure I read that the episode that played like a month ago was the season finale. And then I see this pop up, and I'm looking at the description, and they're like, in a special episode. I'm like, is this an after school special, or is Gene going to get hooked on crack cocaine?
Which would have been fine if
yeah.
If they did the Green Arrow, Green Lantern cover of Gene like he was Speedy with Linda and Bob behind him.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, now I gotta see. For those of you artistic people who watch the show, please draw that. I will pay you for it. I will pay you for it.
He'll pay you for it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Watch more American Gods. We're 6 out of 7 episodes through right now. So we got 1 to catch up on, and then the 8th, which is the, I believe, season finale, is on tomorrow night.
Okay.
Not tomorrow night, Sunday night. And then Pretty Little Liars, and there's 2 episodes left, and that show's done.
I thought you finished it.
I'm caught up on it.
Oh, okay.
But I'm like,
I see.
literally, 2 more episodes, and it's the series finale.
Okay. And so what did you think of this Bob's Burgers episode?
Remind me what happened?
Right? That's why I wanted to talk to you about
Yeah.
it. I remember watching it and being like, this is great.
Yeah, and this is the same thing we've been saying for a while about this now.
It had to do with Gail. Oh,
Yeah.
wait a minute. I remember Gail met Delta Burke's story.
Yeah, I remember
while
that.
Bob was...
That's what I remember. What was Bob doing?
He was trapped somewhere.
Oh, he was trapped in the outdoor store.
Yes,
store.
the outdoor store. Yeah.
With the really pushy salesman.
Here's the thing, though. If you said, hey, did you love that episode of Bob's Burgers with the outdoor? I'd be like, oh, I loved that episode.
Right, because you would have remembered right away what it was. But
Why is that? Why is it that I can name every episode of South Park for the past 21, 22 seasons, but I can't remember the Bob's Burgers I just watched 3 days ago?
As someone who doesn't watch South Park, I don't know what the style of humor in there. I mean, I know what the style of humor, but I don't know how they present the jokes. But I think Bob's has become so much of it's an in that moment situation laugh, not a memorable story.
Okay.
Because he falls asleep he goes into the tent to hide from the salesperson. He falls asleep and then he wakes up and it's nice. Like, oh yeah, that's funny. But what does that really do as far as like a lasting memory of the story?
Sure.
Nothing. So.
Which I don't think from the beginning to now it's ever been a continuum story. It's every episode's a one-off.
It's definitely episodic. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not serial at all.
Okay.
So.
So what I've been watching is some more Vikings.
Okay.
So where we're at, Ragnar just came back because Jarl Borg had took over Kitakata.
Sure.
Got rid of him. Bjorn has decided to stay, and
How old's Bjorn now?
oh, he's an adult.
Okay, so we're progressed to that point.
Yeah. So
which happened like between episodes 6 and 7 or something.
Yeah,
It was
and
like a really weird.
They do a little little trailer at the bottom, like,
Yeah.
and then you see Oslog has 3 kids, so time's progressed.
Right.
Lagertha decides to leave. Bjorn is going to stay. So it's getting better.
Okay.
And it's not that I disliked it. I think I'm just falling more into this lore and out of the previous lore.
Right.
So it's just taking that transition.
Yeah.
I'm super curious what happens to the priest. He's now
Athelstan.
He's now trapped in Essex, and they almost crucified him, but the king stopped him. And now there's this girl who's all beat up in the face who likes him.
Yep.
Okay. Have you watched The Hot Ones with Nick Kroll?
I started it, and then my internet started cutting out, so I only got like 3 minutes in.
Okay.
So
It was fine.
okay.
I don't love Nick Kroll.
Okay.
I feel like he has that one comedic thing he just continues to do.
Yes.
And that's Nick Kroll. He didn't really, like some episodes, like you learn a lot about the guest or something just happens. This episode was just fine.
Yeah.
Like it was Nick Kroll. I didn't learn anything crazy about him except his paternal lineage. His dad was a CIA spy, like private investigator.
Okay.
Who like determined where Saddam Hussein was, like all this crazy shit. So that was
All
interesting.
Right. Okay.
The ones I do want to talk to you about is the 2 Shaun in the Wilds I watched.
Okay. Which ones did you watch?
The steak and the sushi.
So the steak where it's just the female chef in the kitchen and she's like just salt. That one.
Yeah, that one.
Okay. And then the fucking sushi with Milanakis.
Yeah. Who is Milanakis, by the way?
He had a show on MTV.
So that is who I thought it was. Oh, okay. So
that
is
is a show that nobody fucking watched.
Yeah,
except
because he was like 12 years old at the time.
Yeah. And he
Okay.
hasn't ate, like, he's the same guy.
Yes.
And I can't stand him now just like I couldn't stand him then.
So the sushi looked delicious.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to ask you, have you done one of these tastings?
No.
Maybe I have asked you this. I don't know. I want to do that now,
But-
having seen this episode.
Okay, I can know exactly where we can
Yeah,
go.
I know. And that's, so when I'm watching this, I'm like, oh, it's Sam. Right, Sam?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I'm like, that's where I would go to do this if I was going to do it.
Absolutely. In fact, Jessica went and got lunch on Saturday, and I'm like, I really want Sam sushi. And she's like, okay, I'll go get it. And I'm all like, yes. And it was so good. It was just made me so happy.
Yeah. Like when they brought out the hand roll, I'm like, oh, I've had those hand rolls. Those are good.
Yeah. Although I did learn a couple things. There
Okay.
are some things I always knew. You only put the soy sauce on the fish.
Yep.
You knew that.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting, though, that he and the chef also was like, absolutely. You eat some nigiri, and then you finish with a hand roll.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I always started with a hand roll.
Right.
So I thought that was interesting. And it makes sense, though, in hindsight, why.
Yeah.
Okay.
What did you think of the other episode with the steak?
I could not stand it.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Couple different things. One, that steak was rare. Okay, don't tell me that was medium rare. Don't tell me.
Oh, no.
That was gross rare.
Oh, that's how I love my steak.
No.
That's why when I'm in Calgary and I go to the keg.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't go to the keg here. I get the baseball cut.
I love the baseball sirloin.
But it's rare like that because it's such a thick cut.
This was much rarer. I feel like this was much rarer.
I don't know. Maybe I order mine rare. I don't know.
I think you do, because I order my baseball sirloin medium rare.
Okay.
I don't disagree that you can get away with just salt.
No, that's fine. I'm good with that.
She put too much salt.
She did very oversalt that thing.
Like, it was white before she fried it.
Yeah.
And that's my other argument. She fried it. The amount of oil that was in there came up a quarter high on the steak.
Well, she seared it and then she put it in the...
No.
I thought she finished it in the oven.
Nope. Just in the pan.
Oh. Okay. Which is probably why it was... Okay.
Yeah. So...
are you going to watch any... Do you have any intention of watching any other Shaun in the Wild?
Yeah, I think I'll watch some more.
Okay.
I think I'll watch some more.
Definitely watch the one where they try out all the internet pizzas.
Yeah, okay. I saw that one. I remember we talked about it. I just hadn't watched it yet.
Because it was funny. I saw the pizza box, the pizza box one show up online today. And I had never seen it before the video.
Sure.
And then I saw like on Facebook. So I was like, oh my God, look at this pizza. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Pizza news that's only relative to you and I and like one other person listening. So across from my office there's that Pizza Hut that just closed across from the seafood place.
Yeah.
Pizza Hut closed. They're putting in a pizza place. They're putting in a wood-fired pizza place.
I'm down for that.
I was down for that
Uh-oh.
until I talked to one of our handyman,
Okay.
who blew my mind of information. Like literally, I almost kissed him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Had I not get yelled at that day for sexual harassment at my office, I would have kissed him.
Oh, well.
That's
that's like every Tuesday, though, right?
This is an off-air story.
Okay.
But he's from Southside Chicago. I'm Northside Chicago.
Sure.
But we both agree Giordano's is what you eat.
No, absolutely. When
Now-
I went to Chicago, I specifically went to Giordano's.
Absolutely. What he told me, though, is there's a guy who's from Chicago who has a catering truck here. He literally pretty much just makes a Giordano's pizza. He
Oh,
only does lunch.
okay.
That's all he does is just makes this pizza. And whatever pizza he decides to make that day, he just makes a shit ton of that pizza.
That's how it should be. Chef's choice.
And I'm all like, you tell me how I can find out where.
Yeah, right?
You tell me how.
What's his Twitter handle? I will follow him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
But that brings up an interesting point, because now you've gone from wood-fired pizza, which is more of the New York style,
Yep.
to Chicago pies.
Correct. Two very drastic ends.
They are. Which, okay, you're a Chicago guy, so I think I know your answer. You're a pie guy, not a flat crust.
I am.
Okay.
Now, here's why. I'm a pie or thin crust. I don't like normal crust for some reason.
Yeah, it's a little. I mean, it's that. Make up your mind.
I'll eat it.
Yeah.
But you give me thin or you give me thick.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the other show.
Damn it, now I want pizza.
All right. Price is Right moment. The other show I tried to watch, I just couldn't, was the new F Word. Now, I've talked about Gordon Ramsay's F Word on the show before.
Okay.
I talked about his European one,
Yeah.
which was amazing. It was educational. It was articulate. It was interesting. So what had happened, it was the kids were still younger, and he wanted to teach the kids about food. So season 1, they literally got a piglet. They raised
Yeah.
it. It was slaughtered. They ate it. Next year, it was chickens and they did goat. Like, that's what it was about.
Right.
They tell you about where food came from. There's even somewhere like how frozen food's made and what food coloring dyes and this and that. It was very educational. Really, really good show. The new American F Word is a cooking contest between two families. Like, it's like Family Feud cooking edition.
No.
And it's just fucking horrible and annoying. It's bad.
Yeah.
And it just broke my heart.
Okay.
Ugh.
That's what happens when we Americanize British TV.
That's not true. We make some of it better. The Office? Oh my God. The British Office is horrendous.
I haven't watched the British Office, but at least they were smart enough not to drag it out till it's not funny anymore. You got to admit that last season of The Office was just.
No, I'm not arguing it.
And then we tried to do a version of Skins. That was terrible. Tried to do a version of Coupling. That was terrible. I think Shameless is probably like the.
I didn't even like Shameless though.
But I haven't watched it. But now everybody talks about that show.
Everyone talks about it. It's just a show that promotes gluttony in white trash.
Right.
And if I wanted to do that, I would watch Cops from 10 years ago.
That's right. That's true.
Did you watch any movies?
I watched one movie.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it's the same as a movie that you watched.
Did you watch Wonder Woman?
I did.
Well, shit, son.
Right?
And?
I fucking loved this movie.
Oh.
You didn't like it?
That was fine.
All right. I thought in comparison to the DC movies that have come out in the last 5 years, whatever, I think it's the best one they've done.
Now, I can't argue that, but I don't compare it that way.
Okay.
That's like me comparing the Costco pizzas. You got to compare pizza to Giordano's. You can't just compare it to itself. So, yes, was Wonder Woman better than BVS? Sure. But is it a good movie? No, not really.
I also thought it was a good movie.
Okay.
I did.
Now, I accept I'm in the minority here.
Okay.
I really am. It was just fine for me. It was predictable. There was nothing new. Her powers fluctuated throughout the whole thing. When Steve first shows up on Themyscira, she gets shot by a bullet. It hurts her. Later, she's running through the minefield. People are shooting her from behind. No problem. Like,
Well, I mean, suspend your disbelief.
man, I will suspend my... You can tell me she's bulletproof. Fine, she's bulletproof. But you got to give me consistency from the beginning to the end.
Well, it's after she put that armor on. On Themyscira, she was just in the sheet. You know, once you get on the gauntlets and the whatever, the
tiara. Yeah.
Then that's when you go bulletproof. It's like Iron Man. Tony Stark's not bulletproof in person. You throw the armor on.
Well, I mean, he does wear pretty skimpy armor. That's true. That
Yeah.
man needs to cover the fuck up.
Right. The only thing that I was upset about when I went and saw this movie is I went to an RPX.
Ooh, so $17 later.
Under the impression that this RPX would be one of the ones with like the leather reclining seats.
So did you go to the Linwood one?
I went to the Everett one.
Oh, okay, yeah, it is not.
No. So essentially, I paid $5 extra to have a number on my seat telling me where to sit.
And with some sound, better sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah. I mean, I liked it. It was good.
So it's rare that you go to a theater.
Yeah.
Now, it's becoming rare that I go to theater. What has your opinion on movie going changed at all?
No, I mean, a lot of the reason that I don't go to the theater a lot is that a lot of these movies that come out that I want to see, my wife also wants to see.
Sure.
And we have such differing schedules that it just never works out for us to actually go see it in the theater.
That's fair.
I mean, I would probably go to the theater more often if our schedules were more closely aligned. But she did send me a link today online for the new 4D theater experiences. Have you seen this?
4D's pretty old now, where the chairs move.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess, yeah, it's like 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah.
But it's still not widely adopted.
That is true. That is true.
So I guess it's not just the chairs moving, but they also put in other elements into the theater. So they'll put some like scent in through the air. So like if it's a scene on the ocean, you smell like salt water, or they'll mist you from a thing in the seat in front of you. So
Have you ever been to Disneyland?
I have not.
Okay, I didn't think so. Old hat, buddy.
Well, no.
Old hat by Disneyland
Sure.
Paris. I remember
But
watching
in a theater.
So you went to the Bugs Life Theater,
Oh, jeez.
and while you're watching,
You have
when
ants crawling over you?
when the cockroaches run, you feel them under your chair.
Okay.
And when you see the bee sting, you feel a sting in your back, and you feel like when the cricket spits water, you get misted and it stinks, and it like. I get what you're saying. I don't know if I would want to watch 2 hours like that.
Okay.
But that's. I mean, I'm a crotchety old man at this point.
We only have one theater in this area that has it anyways, and it's downtown. The Meridian 16.
Okay, because I've been to it once in Monroe, but it was just the seat moved.
This is the full, like, all of the elements thing they have.
I'd be curious. Like, I would be curious to go to one besides just the seat moving.
Yeah.
Because I went like 5 years ago, so the seat didn't just move; it jostled you,
Right.
and you're just like, "Well, this is uncomfortable."
Yeah. But so the one in Seattle, they are playing Wonder Woman right now. So I'd be curious to see what elements they throw into that.
So, what was your favorite part?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't really know. I mean, to be fair, I called the villain of the movie early.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The first scene he shows up in, I'm like, that's the bad guy right there.
Yeah, it has to be.
It took Jessica till the end of the movie to figure it out.
My beloved, like the whole time, thought it was the Nazi guy. I'm like, baby, come on, that's too obvious. It's not him.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I thought the fight scenes were pretty well choreographed.
Okay.
I mean, I get what you're saying about inconsistency on her vulnerabilities and things like that, but I think, like the scene on the beach in Themyscira I thought was done really well.
I agree. The Amazons, I think, did a great job. Two things about the Amazon I thought were weird. One, it's PC to have black women. Historically, on the island at that time, there were no black people. So let's just put that out there.
Yeah, but this is an origin story as of 2000. Well, I guess it was still the 40s. Fuck. All right, never mind. Or 20s. It was World War I. So it was like the late teens, early 20s.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
But that actually didn't, that
brings,
didn't bother me.
That brings me to another point. It was not a Nazi guy because it was World War I. It was a First Reich or whatever.
Was it World War I? I thought it was World War II.
No, I thought it was World War I.
I believe you.
That's why you didn't see any swastikas. You just saw the Iron Cross.
Oh, okay. You know what? Fair. I'll take that one. The black people doesn't actually bother me. I just wanted to make a stupid racist comment.
Yeah.
I think the women of Themyscira, they did a great job with it. I thought it was really interesting. What bothered me about it was that it was just a disguise that stopped ships from coming through.
Yeah, that was weird.
Because you're telling me at no other point did a ship cross through that water?
I actually did have a big problem with that. Because I'm like, yeah, if there's literally like no actual barrier, it's just a visage or whatever. Yeah, there had to have been somebody that had gone through there at some point. Maybe that's the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, maybe. Let me find it.
They come in and they never go back out.
So I thought that was...
Yeah. The question I have is I can't remember how to say it. And Antione,
Okay.
Robin Wright's character,
Yeah.
dies.
Yeah.
But she's been confirmed for coming back in Justice League. So I don't know how they're gonna get around that.
Flashback.
You think?
Lazarus Pit.
Oh, fucking Lazarus Pits.
I doubt they'll do Lazarus Pit. Like, who knows? I have no idea. Probably a flashback. I'm surprised Artemis wasn't even mentioned. Like, even while there was training, she'd be like, "Oh, Diana, one day you'll fight with young Artemis over there," and then just move on to something else.
Or Donna Troy.
Oh man, that would have made it a good movie,
Right? I would have been all in at that point.
That would have made it a good fucking movie.
But yeah, I mean, I would say I'd give it like an 8.5 out of 10.
Wow, that's generous. Okay, my biggest complaint was it actually went on too long. It was too long for me.
Okay.
But that is the other movie I watched was Beauty and the Beast live action edition.
So the one with Emma Watson?
The one with Emma Watson.
Okay, I have not seen it yet.
Okay, did you watch the animated one?
When I was 4? Yeah.
Then you've seen this one.
I know.
Except they added 2 songs.
Okay.
And they made Gaston funny.
And gay, apparently. No, he wasn't. Was he the...
No, it was his...
Schmeagol? No, what the hell's that guy's name?
I don't know.
Yeah, that guy.
And it's not even that. It was like
I know.
blatantly gay.
And we talked about this when
Yeah.
the news story first came out.
It's not even... You can tell he's obsessed with Gaston, but you also see him hitting on women. So
Right.
At best, he's bi-curious.
It's the 2017. That's fine.
Yeah. It was fine. Like, they did a really good job with the live action of the teapot and Cogsworth and Lumiere and all that. They added more people. There's a dresser, a piano, not dresser, a wardrobe, I should say.
No, yeah.
Piano.
That's what I pictured anyways.
Yeah. And they did a fine enough job with it.
Okay.
I thought overall they did a really good job. It's just hard when you're like, well, yeah, I've seen this already when it was animated. Now I have to imagine if I was a young person, this was my first experience. Oh, yeah, this was great. I will say the Beast looked fantastic.
Okay.
Did a great job with the Beast.
Good.
He looked really dumb in human form.
Well.
But as a Beast, badass.
Okay, cool.
Which then brings me to my question. Would you want that curse broken, or would you want to keep being the badass Beast?
I don't want to be the badass Beast.
Right?
I mean, that's a good living. And isn't he... I don't remember. Does he age?
No.
Yeah, so great. Not only am I awesome and badass and I can make people afraid of me, but I don't have to die.
Don't have to die.
Done. Sign me up. It's my argument for being a vampire, too.
Youth?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever read Fables?
An issue here and there, but never...
So it's obviously the storybook fables, in life, and turns out they were real and whatever.
Right.
In Beauty and Beast, I actually quite like them because when they fight and Beauty gets mad at him, he slowly starts to turn back into the Beast. So the longer they've been, so one time you see him like full on Beast mode, and the Big Bad Wolf is like, "Oh, it's been a while." He's like, "She hasn't talked to me in 3 weeks."
Oh, jeez.
I thought it was real funny.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, moving on. What do you got next?
So I've been playing a video game a lot this last week.
Which one?
So you may have heard of this game that came out probably like 8 or 9 years ago now, Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Did you know they actually made a sequel to that called Assassin's Creed 2?
Tell me more.
So it takes place during the Renaissance. I don't know.
The Renaissance.
Yeah. It's in Italy. I don't. Anyway, so I've been playing that a lot.
Okay.
I am
Kicking it old school.
Well, so I've got the Xbox One now.
Backwards capability.
Yeah, well, but I'm playing this actually. I had started this before I got that.
Okay.
So I'm like, well, I really want to get the newer games that are on that, but I got to finish these old ones because I'm a completionist. And if I'm going to play the 6th or 7th installment, I got to beat all the first ones first.
So from the first Assassin's Creed all the way through Syndicate is one story.
Okay.
The story ended with Syndicate. So this new one that's coming out, Origins, new story.
Okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
That doesn't come out till October, right?
Correct.
So I've got
You got some time.
4 months to...
So what do you think of Assassin's Creed 2?
I think it's... I mean, here's my problem. And I'm hoping this changes more in the future games because I have Brotherhood and Revelations and 3 and 4 to play still, too, before I have to go buy more.
Okay.
Because that's the order they go in, right?
Yeah, it goes Brotherhood, Revelation, 3, Black Flag,
Which is 4.
Unity, Syndicate.
Yeah. And then there's... Anyways, I'm not even going to get into the games. I know it's obviously a different setting and a different story, but it seems like the same game. Like, I feel like it's still, hey, go run around and jump on these buildings and assassinate this guy or rescue that guy or listen in on this conversation. And I know that's kind of the purpose because you're an assassin.
Right.
But to me, it almost feels like, okay, I just bought 4 more hours of gameplay on the first game.
So...
And I know this story eventually gets more into the
Yeah.
Abstergo with the
first civilization.
Yeah,
And
it'll get into more of that. So I'm looking forward to getting more of that storyline as opposed to the jump around and hide and shoot things.
not only that, but you also get more side quests, more special errands, more small things you can do,
Right.
new armors that you have to complete puzzles to get. So they do add in all those layers. I think the problem you're going to have is a problem I think anybody would have. If you're playing Assassin's Creed 1, then you're going straight to Assassin's Creed 2, and then you're going straight to Assassin's Creed 3.
Right.
It's never a difference. Whereas most of us, we had a year or 2 years in
Right.
between games.
Yeah.
So it's that separation.
Yeah.
So I would almost recommend try and play a completely different game.
Well, so what I'm thinking is once I'm done with 2, I'll go back and finally finish Mass Effect 1,
Okay.
and then I'll go to Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and then so I'll
Sure.
switch back and forth like that. My problem is I kind of want to be caught up with all of the Assassin's Creed games before October.
Yeah, no, I
And
understand.
I don't have a lot of time to also fit in TV and movies.
It's
and
hard.
Comics.
It's hard.
Now, if I could just get paid to do this.
Oh, how do we do that?
Yeah, I got nothing.
Castle Lion, how do we do that? Speaking of which, let's address his question.
What is that?
We received an email talking about
Oh,
the
yeah,
suggested videos. Jay, you know more about these things than I do.
Okay. So, one of our listeners, he sent us an email, it's a screenshot of, I was watching an episode, and this is the videos that YouTube suggested. Why? And it was like a couple other random weird YouTube podcasts or video shows or whatever that really had nothing to do with what we do.
No.
They weren't necessarily pop cultural. One, I think, may have been about anime or Bollywood or something. I don't know.
One was about Bollywood, and one was talking about another TV show specific.
Yeah. It was a review of Tower. I don't know what the fuck it was.
fine.
Anyways, so I'm looking at it. The only correlation I saw between what you were likely watching, which I'm assuming is episode 212 of our show, and all those other things, is that they were episode 212 of whatever the hell that show was. So apparently you do not YouTube well.
Or enough.
Enough, yeah. The Google Foo is not with you, and all it does is look at the episode number of whatever you're watching. It says, here's a bunch of other shit you may or may not care about that's in a similar episode.
To be fair, you don't care about that shit. On YouTube, you care about Hot Ones and Us.
That's it. I mean, to be fair, it's
What culture? You can do some what culture too.
for me, it's anything that First Week Feast puts out right now.
Okay.
Is good. And then us. What culture, and then compilation videos of plays and sports. So
Oh, yeah.
I watched one today that was like the 20 weirdest pitching approaches. So it was all the pitchers that have an
yeah.
unorthodox pitching style. And then it went straight in from that to the 20 weirdest batting stances.
There's some weird batting
There
stances.
was. Yeah.
Like women's softball's the weirdest because you get to run a little bit before you hit the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's
no,
weird
this
to
was
me.
this was all MLB.
All MLB.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you had some guys that like hold the bat completely sideways like this, and the pitch comes, and then they go up and golf. It was, you had the guys that are pitching almost underhand.
There was one pitcher who started on the right side but finished on the left. I'm trying to remember who it was.
I don't know. There was a pitcher that he's a switch pitcher,
Sure.
which I've never seen that before. So he would pitch a couple with his right hand, and then a different batter would come up. That's a different stance. So, fuck you. Would switch to the other hand, pitch with the other hand. I was really hoping, and I don't know if this is a reference you'll get, that Bobby Ayala would be in there. Do you remember Bobby Ayala?
I do.
I remember because he used to, when he played for the Mariners back in the early to mid 90s, at least 4 or 5 times a season, he would get called with a balk
Yeah.
because he would step so far off of the pitching mound that they said it was a balk.
A balk is the pitching error.
Yeah. So, I just saw a balk in a Brewers game a couple weeks ago too, and I don't remember what they did. But yeah, so a lot of times it's you have a certain area on the pitch and mound that you have to stay on. If you go outside of that while you're pitching, you're considered an error because you went outside of your zone. There was one pitcher they showed that skipped when he pitched. So he would do his windup, and he would, as he was about to throw, he would actually hop about 6 inches forward to get an extra thrust on it.
Huh.
and he almost got called for a balk because his foot was coming off of the bag.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense to me.
So
All right.
Okay.
Let's talk about just kind of random news things real fast. that
Okay.
We found interesting. Whoa, what?
I just want to see if your two are the same. I think one of them at least is the same.
Boom.
Yes.
Let's talk about Boom Studios.
Okay. So it was announced, I think today. I know I sent you the news story today. I think it was announced today. No, yesterday. It was yesterday.
Last night.
Yes, because I talked to my wife about this, and she didn't understand it.
Talk to who?
My wife.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So 20th Century Fox has now bought a large minority stake in Boom Studios. It has not been disclosed yet what percentage that stake is, but as far as a minority stake, it could technically be up to 49%.
Correct.
As long as the other 51% is owned by a single person or group of investors. But part of the deal is they now have a first look for any TV or movie adaptations of any property that Boom puts out.
So what's interesting about this is they acquired Boom, but they also have the X-Men rights.
Right. Which I thought was interesting because I'm like, are they maybe going to get rid of the X-Men rights? Because the last couple movies haven't really been all that great.
And there's been some talk about Fantastic Four in the MCU recently.
Right.
That's been all over the gossip lines.
Yeah. So maybe this is the point where Fox finally says, okay, we're not doing good at all with these properties. Time to just cut our losses and go. Because they're having to pay licensing rights for them. Like, they have the rights, but they still have to pay fees, intellectual property fees to Marvel. So if they can go in and get a whole nother stable of characters where they just completely own it, then that's bank for them.
Or are we gearing up to see Generation X meets the Lumberjanes?
Fuck, no. No.
Just the thought of that. I love it all. So, yeah, interesting thing that we want to keep our eye on to see where that happens. Fans of Boom Studios, you and I,
Yeah.
we like them as people. We like a good amount of their books.
They treated me? That's the word I'm looking for. They treated me to several free drinks at Emerald City 3 years ago when they made me move our booth.
Yes.
Yeah. Irene. Yeah.
The other kind of interesting comic book news is Jay Baruchel.
Yeah. Okay. This is the other one I want to talk about. So, for those of you that may not know who Jay Baruchel is, he is part of the Judd Apatow pack. He's in a lot of movies with Franco and Rogan and those guys.
Most notably, we've talked about Man Seeking Woman, which he stars in.
Oh, yep. There's that too, which I think I heard that got canceled.
Did it?
I think so.
I'm seasons behind.
Yeah, okay. Another one of the high-profile things he was in, I guess high profiles, She's Out of My League, I think it was the name
She's Out of My League, Undeclared.
Yeah, he was in Undeclared. So that guy, he has been named the Chief Creative Officer at Chapter House Publishing, which is a Canadian comic book publisher most famously known for being the ones currently publishing Captain Canuck,
Right.
Northgard, Agents of Pact, that whole chapter verse. I saw this on Instagram 2 or 3 days ago, and I immediately sent you the picture, and your reaction was...
What the fuck?
Which is the same reaction I had.
The Beard's reaction was yes, with like 5 S's.
Fuck the Beard. No. Okay, so the problem I have with this is, those guys are kind of famous for reading comics. Like, that's kind of one of the things the group does.
Right.
But I don't think being a comic fan and being Canadian is necessarily enough credit or background to be successful as chief creative officer of a comic book publishing company.
I don't disagree with you. I brought up Freddie Prinze Jr. He did dynamite at writing script and storylines for WWE for almost a decade.
Sure. To me, I think it's a little bit different paradigm in that, Freddie Prinze Jr. had already written stuff before that. Mm-hmm. He comes from a family that's, well, I mean, not that he was around his dad that much, but, he'd been acting long enough.
Yeah,
he knew enough of the business to make something an entertaining show. I don't think if they had made him the head writer or the chief creative officer of WWE, it would have been... So that's what I'm saying. Make Jay Barrett, give him a book to write, make him an editor or something like that. Don't put him in charge of the creative direction of the entire company.
So, and that is one of the things I'm curious about is what are his responsibilities going to be? Let's say, the writer Matt Kent comes and says, I'm going to write this book. Mm-hmm. Is he going to have his hand in all of it, telling Matt to change things? Or is he just green lighting with some commentary? I'm super curious as to the length of his responsibilities.
Right. Is it an involved day-to-day role, or is it like a figurehead type thing?
Yeah.
Because you look at DC, you've got Jeff Johns
Jeff
is
Johns.
the CCO there. He is very involved with a lot.
Oh, yes.
Same thing. If you look over at Marvel, they've got a CCO who, for whatever reason, it still has a job, but is involved in all of that stuff. And sure, Chapter House is only putting out 6 books, but at the same time, like, are we gonna? I made this joke. Are we gonna see Green Hornet show up in one of these issues, and it's gonna be a Captain Canuck Green Hornet crossover because Jay's buddy Seth Rogen was Green Hornet?
Yeah,
Like,
they're just going to get stoned. That's the whole issue.
Yeah.
They get stoned and eat all dressed. Canadian editions.
Oh, can you imagine if the artist accidentally drew the American edition?
Oh,
of that?
wow.
Oh.
He would get fired quicker than Adnan got fired for the Muslim comments in X-Men.
And that was pretty quick.
Yeah, it was.
So, I mean, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. I'm very wary of it because, you know, as I've talked about on the show, I'm fully divested into the chapter verse now, trying to get in at the ground floor. And if it goes to shit, I'm going to blame it all on Jay Baruchel.
That's fair.
Yeah.
2 comments really fast on other related things. You guys can all pass out for 5 minutes. This is a Jay and I talk. Samsung Chromebook Pro has been released.
Okay.
At $599. Previously, the Samsung Plus Chromebook was at $469.
But there's a discount on that now, right? Didn't it drop down like $50, something like that?
$172 off.
Okay.
That is a significant drop.
That is.
The only difference that I found out, the OS will remain the same. The difference is the processor.
Yeah.
Even the RAM and everything's the same.
Yep.
So is it worth picking up the Plus now?
No. Wait.
The Plus is the lower one that
Yeah,
they just dropped.
I would go with the Plus.
Right?
Why would you get the Pro? I mean, the processor's not going to be that big. What is it, a 1.5 versus a 1.6?
Something small like that.
Yeah, you're not going to notice that.
And the other thing, those of you who may know, Amazon just acquired Whole Foods.
Oh,
well,
fuck.
it's not finalized. But
I mean, it pretty much is.
$13.7 billion.
In cash. Not even a stocks. In cash.
Now, the rumor mills are circulating crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Because now, according to the internet, employees are afraid they're going to lose their job to robots. That Amazon's going to try to automate a bunch of shit.
Well, so here's one of the thoughts I had. We know that Amazon has been testing the cashierless stores in
Yes.
Seattle. So are they going to implement some situation like that at Whole Foods where you walk into Whole Foods, you grab your lettuce, you grab your quinoa, you grab your gluten-free cookie, you swipe it all with your phone, and you walk out the door?
I don't know. And here's where I don't know that. One, I've been to the Amazon bookstore, which they still have, obviously, cashiers there. You have to have an Amazon account to purchase,
Okay.
and they don't take cash or card at the store.
No, you pay through your Amazon
You pay
account.
through your
Yeah.
Amazon account, which I don't like. Because I was like, I want to give you cash. No, we don't do that here.
Okay.
Really? Really? You don't take cash here?
Yeah.
I even told her, I'm like, how much is it? She's like, $22. I'll give you 25. You pay on your account. Sorry, we don't do cash here. Fine. I can't have my wife seeing everything I buy on Amazon.
Right. No,
You got to have. So I'm considering having a second Prime
I
account.
was
So I
going
can
to say,
just keep things
that's
on
where
the
you get the sub account, yeah.
No, I don't have a mistress. I just have 2 Prime accounts. So I'd be curious if they acquired it and they're just going to let it run, because it is Whole Foods generates money.
Oh, yeah.
Amazon's profit's not huge.
No.
So are they just? Is this a secondary source of income while they play with other Amazon stuff?
And it could be something that they're looking to incorporate that brand name into the Amazon Fresh delivery service too.
Yep.
Right now the number of areas where you can get Amazon Fresh delivery is kind of limited. So if they now tap into where the Whole Food stores are, they could expand that a
opens
little
it up
bit
drastically.
So
my question is, does this now open up your interest anymore into Amazon Fire, Amazon tablets,
No.
Amazon?
God, no.
Okay.
I've had an Amazon Fire tablet. It's a very limited ecosystem because it's based on Android, but it's not Android.
So not only is it based on Android, not Android, it also has a limited store to only Amazon approved apps.
Yep. You can side load apps, but then you're talking about having to root it and kind of break the warranty on things like that. Yep. So, and that was one of my biggest problems. When I first got my Kindle Fire, I was like, cool, I can get Comixology on here. I can get books done. And then when I started really looking at, I can't really do anything else on here. That's when I switched over and got that Samsung.
Well, you can do
tablet.
Netflix, you can do Hulu.
Sure, but as far as other apps and things.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because here's my thought, and this is my only thought. It's $100 for the 10-inch.
Yeah.
Is it worth $100 just to have my digital comics?
No.
I agree. That was the conclusion I came to
Yeah.
as well.
I mean, you can't even do Kodi on that shit.
Oh yeah. Then speaking of comic books, what you got?
So this week, I got Tekken number 2, Generation X number 3, X-Men Blue number 5, Batgirl and the Birds of Prey number 11, Detective number 958, Howl and the Green Lantern Corps number 22, Supergirl number 10, Flash number 24, and Fathom number 5.
Whoa.
Sorry, all new Fathom Volume 6 number 5.
Thank you. Rye number 1, Planet of the Apes Green Lantern number 5.
You're such a shill.
Dustin Weaver's Paclios, Birthright 25, Green Valley number 9, The Defenders number 1, Batman Detective Comics 958, Hal Jordan the Green Lantern Corps number 22, Superman Action Comics is not included because they came in damaged.
Oh.
The Martian Manhunter meets Marvin the Martian.
Shut up.
Legion of Superheroes meets Bugs Bunny.
Nah.
Red Hood and the Outlaws number 11, Titans 12, The Flash 24, and I'm surprised you did not pick up Dark Days The Forge number 1.
I don't know what it is enough to want to buy it.
It's the new this is the summer event. This
Okay.
is the big Batman summer event.
Okay.
So
I hate that I have to buy a separate book.
it's pretty important, and it's actually the book I'm going to talk about.
Okay.
What are you going to talk about first?
I'm just going to continue my love on the Tekken series.
Let me hear it.
This book made me want to go out and buy Tekken 7 even more. I just can't justify dropping the $60 on it.
Yet, if you wait for the new Xbox One X, they're dropping the new Tekken when it launches with the high-res graphics.
Yeah, but I don't need the high-res graphics. Even all the reports I've read about the X's, the majority of gamers do not need this.
Well, duh.
And that's why it's such a high price point. It's
Nobody
like,
needs it.
it's like what I said to you. It's essentially an Xbox One S Plus. It's the same goddamn thing with a faster processor, and it can do 4K graphics.
But this is going to be the last console Xbox puts out.
Well, I'll wait a year until it's half price, and I'll
That's
buy it.
fair.
That's what
totally
I've done
fair.
with all my consoles.
Totally fair.
So yeah, I talked about Tekken Issue 1 when it first came out. For those of you that aren't familiar, it's based on a popular fighting video game series. And it's entertaining for me to just be able to go in there and see all the characters that I've played with for years and years and years. So in this one, you've got Lin Xiaoling again, you've got Panda, you've got Yoshimitsu, you've got Paul and Tiger. Jack shows up. The big mechanical Jack shows up. And essentially, you've got Jin Kazama and his dad, whose name I can't remember now, Kazuya something. Anyways, they're fighting each other, whatever, and Jin's like trying not to fight because he's got this demon inside of him that if it comes out, it just goes crazy, bloodlust, and kills everybody. So that's the conflict they're having right now. The good guys team is trying to get to this compound to try to find a weapon, and the bad guys are like chasing after him. And that's it's very basic. It's 3/4 of it is just fighting, but it's great to watch.
And that is the point of the comic book, right?
Yeah.
That you read your 32 issues, and when you're done, you go, well, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So
Dark Days The Forge. This starts the...
is that a foil cover? Or is it just...
It's just
high
hard
gloss?
stock.
Okay.
So, huge issue.
Okay.
A lot of big important things, sets up huge story, and this is Scott Snyder. He's writing it. He's writing the whole thing with Capullo.
Okay.
And he said that this ties in all of his Batman New 52
Damn it.
together.
All right. Okay.
Now, a lot of stuff happens in here. Some of it, I don't like what it happens.
Sure.
Some of it, what it implies, really angers me.
Okay. More than Batman 24 angered you?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Because it touches on one of the darkest days in the Batman history, in my opinion.
Okay.
So, starts off, we find out Carter Hall is investigating the Nth metal.
Carter Hall, a.k.a. Hawkman.
Yes.
Okay.
From his original point. Batman is also investigating the Nth metal.
Okay.
As it turns out, and also Aquaman. With long hair, big beard.
Very Jason Momoa-esque.
Just blonde, yeah.
Yeah.
So we find out that the Nth metal has been a secret that Batman's investigating that nobody else knows about.
Okay.
We also find out that Hal Jordan sneaks into the Batcave, and there's a hidden room in the Batcave that Duke didn't know about. So now they're investigating that, while Carter Hall talks about the Nth metal.
Okay.
And then we see this visage of the future, this huge Batman statue, bodies tied to it, whatnot. Mr. Fantastic shows up, and he admits he's been...
I'm going to just go ahead and let you know that's not Reed Richards. That's Mr. Terrific.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Terrific shows up.
I was going to say, well, you didn't tell me it's a crossover.
Yeah. It's like a huge crossover. So we find out a couple things. One, he sent Mr. Terrific to the different dimensions investigating information throughout the multiverse. And then we see this. What does that look like to you?
I don't know.
Kind of looks like Plastic Man to me.
Okay. I
Can you
see
see
that.
it?
Yeah.
Don't know for sure. Green Lantern's still hunting through with Duke, and then we see all these items. Batman has Diana's bracelets, one of the tridents, one of the Helmet of Fate. All have nth metal, as it turns out.
Oh, okay.
They show the original Outsiders.
Okay, I was wondering who that was.
They show the Dionysium.
Okay.
The thing that made the Joker.
Yeah.
And then we find out this whole time, as Carter Hall is investigating all the different eras that had nth metal, you have the bear and this and the bat.
Oh, interesting.
Is it? Because to me, that brings us back to Grant Morrison's Return of Bruce Wayne.
Well, that's what
time travel.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
And that really angers me.
Okay.
Because I hated that. Hated that.
No, I agree. It was not great. In fact, I hated myself for even torrenting those issues. But I like that they're referencing back. That I can appreciate that.
But I think it may be a huge part of this going forward.
Okay.
We then find out that Batman has been holding on to the Anti-Monitor Tower.
Oh.
And he has been keeping the Joker prisoner this entire time.
Oh, shut up. Interesting.
So that's the end of it.
Fuck, I gotta buy this.
So the whole arc, the whole thing going forward is all about nth metal.
Okay.
And what it actually is and what powers it actually contains.
Okay.
So it's going to be Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo writing it.
How many is it? Like a 4 or 6 issue? Or?
I think it's 6.
Okay.
With
so bad.
a one-shot Alpha and a one-shot Omega.
Okay.
So yeah.
Is it event price though? Is it like $4.99?
That is $4.99. I don't remember what it is per issue. I have the previews. We can look.
I'm sure it's gonna be the same.
Yep.
At least it's not $5.99 like Dark Knight 3, the Master Race.
That book was garbage.
I read 1 issue. I was done.
That's one too many.
Yeah, I know.
So that's it for me this week.
Yeah, you don't want to touch on Batman 24 at all?
Oh! Did you read it?
I did read it.
Hold on, let me try to see if I can get any drops of beer left out of the bottle. No, that's dry. Nope, dry. All right, what do you think?
Fuck this issue.
Right?
Like what from page 1. I mean, it was hard because I kind of knew what happened already, so I was already expecting it. But yeah, you're right. We've seen so many issues, so many people trying to persuade Bruce Wayne to not give in to the darkness, not be all fucking mopey and just go about his life. And this girl, Gotham Girl, who's been around for fucking 6 issues, she got knocked out or brainwashed or whatever. All of a sudden, she's like, you deserve to be happy, Bruce. And he's like, oh, yeah, you're right. All this time, you're right. Fuck that.
So I was arguing about this with some other people. They're like, well, no, it's because of his dad and what happened in the button. Oh, really? Because if that's the case, how come that wasn't brought up once in this issue? How come not once?
Yeah, no reference to the button.
None.
At all. But yeah, I'm pissed that this nobody Gotham Girl is the one that's convincing him. And fuck this proposal. Like, I brought this up to my wife. I'm like, yeah, apparently Batman proposed to Catwoman. She's like, oh, that's cool. Haven't they been together forever? I'm like, no, they haven't been. They can't be. That's the entire dynamic of their relationship. Is he's a hero, she's a villain. He can't associate with the villain. He just screws her on rooftops every now and then. That's the entirety of the relationship.
That's it.
And now he screwed himself on a rooftop.
Good one, by the way.
Thanks.
That was really good. I like that. Yes, garbage, right?
Yeah.
So do you want to read the next arc to see where it goes?
I mean, I'm going to.
But you're going to.
I know. But I think I am dropping Gen X because fuck that book too.
Oh, thank God.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Blue should be next, man. Blue should be.
Blue wasn't bad this time.
They just decided to bring back Wolverine.
But it's not Wolverine.
I know it is Wolverine. It's just not Wolverine. It's Wolverine's son from the Ultimate Universe.
It's Jimmy Howlett. But apparently, and I don't even remember this, he can change his adamantium claws to bone claws at will.
The fuck?
I know, I was thrown off by that.
Why would you ever choose bone claws if you had adamantium claws?
Magneto?
That one time's not good enough for me.
No, so it came up in this. He was fighting another alternate whatever from Magnus. Anyways, and Miss Sinister's back, which is weird. So now Miss Sinister and Jean Grey are like having a psychic battle.
Ms. Sinister?
Do you not remember that storyline?
I'm just, why is this a thing? Why is that something we have to go back to that well?
Because they never resolved it to where it goes back to Mr. Sinister. So they just need to bring a villain in, and it's Miss Sinister. Because now you've got the Marauders who've been assembled from other dimensions.
What part of this was good?
I don't remember now.
Yeah,
I'll
there
get
it
back to
is.
yeah. Anyways, all right, that's all I got.
I'm looking forward to Batman 25. We'll let you know because it comes out next week.
Oh, fuck.
Bye.
See you.